Hi, I'm Rachel Hall. I am going to show you how I used to do lice checks in my classroom. I was an elementary school teacher for about a decade. And so what I would do is I would have children bring me a pencil. Now, I want them to bring me their pencil. I don't want to use my own pencil because lice don't jump, they crawl. So if a louse, that's one lice, if a louse were to crawl onto the pencil, I don't want to transfer it from one person's head to another. So I'm going to use the child's pencil that they bring me. Now, a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check 3 different areas. I'm going to check the top of her head or the crown. I'm going to check the nape of her neck. And I'm also going to check behind her ears. These are the hot spots where the lice like to live. I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to just pick up different sections of the hair. What I'm doing is I'm looking for 2 things. The first thing I'm looking for is little specks that are eggs. Now the eggs are going to be stuck or kind of glued to the hair. So if you see a speck, you can take your pencil and flick it. If it moves, it's probably just dandruff, which is completely normal. Everybody has a little bit of dandruff. If it doesn't move easily, it's probably an egg. When you think that you have an egg, take your fingers and try to move it along the shaft of the hair. If it doesn't move easily, you've got a lice egg. So I'm going to look here. I'm going to pick up another section with the pencil. See how I'm doing that? I'm just sectioning off her hair and I'm looking at her scalp. Now, Jennifer has blonde hair, so it's going to be really hard to see the lice eggs in her hair because they're kind of whitish color. And also against some hair, the actual lice themselves, the bugs, the adult lice, they're difficult to see. They almost kind of look translucent against the scalp. So I like to wait for a minute after I pick up the hair and see if there's movement because the lice will freeze when you move the hair, but then when you pause for a minute, they'll start moving around again. So I'm looking, I don't see any movement. I'm going to separate the hair again with my pencil, pull up another section, and I'm going to look. I'm looking for white specks. If I see a speck, I'm going to flick it with my pencil. If it doesn't move, it could be a lice egg. If it does move, it's just natural dandruff. I'm pausing to look and see if anything moves on the scalp to see if there are live bugs there. I don't see anything here, so I'm going to ask Jennifer to look down. Now I'm going to look at the nape of her neck. So I'm going to pull up her hair. I'm looking for 2 things here other than eggs and lice, but I'm also looking for redness. At the nape of the neck, if the bugs get big enough, they'll start biting and it will cause redness. But also for children who are allergic to their saliva, that will itch, and that's one of the places that they scratch is around their neck. So I'm looking, I don't see any redness. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to separate her hair and I'm going to look down in these parts of her scalp. Remember, I pull it apart and I pause to see if there's any movement on the scalp, to see if there's any live bugs there. I'm also looking for those eggs. I don't see any, so I'm going to separate her hair again. And then I'm going to pause to see, is there live movement? No live movement, no eggs. Now I'm going to look on the side behind her ears. So I'm looking at 3 places: the crown of her head, the nape of her neck, and behind her ears. Same thing behind her ears. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to separate a small section of the hair so that I get a good clean line on the scalp. And I'm looking to see, is there movement from live bugs? Do I see any spots? If I think I see a spot, I'm going to flick it with my pencil. If it moves, probably dandruff. If it doesn't move, could be an egg. I might take my fingers and try to pull that egg along the shaft, and it's going to be difficult to move. Now, if I do find a lice or a louse or an egg in the hair, what I like to do as a teacher, I used to take a small piece of tape and just put it around where that egg was. That way I can show the parent that this was on the child, it was in their hair, and this is what it looks like. A lot of parents have never seen lice or an egg before, and if you just give them a baggie full of lice eggs, they're microscopic and small, and that person may be questioning if it came from their child. So if you just put a piece of tape around there, it'll help the parent see what it looks like and know that it was on their child's head. Now, Jennifer didn't have any lice, so I'm going to give her her pencil back. And remember, I'm going to send her back to her desk and I'm going to ask another student to come up and bring their own pencil because I don't want to accidentally transfer lice from one person's head to the next. And that is how a teacher checks for lice.